What's up? I'm the Nature Hacker, and this is your world. So, there's a few things I want to talk about. I want to talk about this James Damore guy who got fired from Google for his anti-diversity messaging. And really, I just want to say quickly before I get into it, man, the more I look into what this guy wrote, it's kind of like gospel as far as how accurate it is. It's really something you want to read. It's kind of one of those things where, you know, I feel like I've done it sometimes where a person has an epiphany and you start learning about it and you're like, wow. I mean, hopefully I've caused that for you, like in things about how to make gold and you know, battery technology, things like that. Hopefully there's been kind of an epiphany moment that's translated to where it's like, wow, this is some really amazing stuff, and it's empowering. And really, that's why I do what I do, is for that empowerment, not for me necessarily, but for you, for the people. And really, what James Damore did in his memo was really empowering, and it really sparks that wow, like that really epiphany moment. So you should definitely check it out. I definitely recommend watching the Jordan B. Peterson interview of him. There's also a Stephen Molyneux interview. I don't think it's quite as good, but wow, yeah. I mean, especially the last half of it. One of them, you're gonna want to look for the Google video that says complete, because one of them is only half of the interview. It only gets about 20 minutes in, but the really the good stuff starts at about 30 minutes. So you definitely want to check that out. I also wanted to say that at naturehackerproducts.com, I just released an article about a new type of operating system. I was watching a Netflix special on Genius. If you have Netflix, look for Genius, probably in the documentary section or something. You know, it's talking. The first episode was about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, and obviously I've seen the Steve Jobs movies and whatnot, but really the Bill Gates story intertwined with that really is very interesting. And Bill Gates, you know, you can see for how operating systems developed. You know, first it was assembly, which Bill Gates was pretty much an expert at writing assembly operating systems, you know, for mainframe computers. And then it went to DOS, which Bill Gates wasn't quite as up on, and he basically licensed DOS and sold it to IBM. He was the middleman in DOS. And then came object-oriented programming, such as, you know, Windows type thing, which Xerox started. Steve Jobs commandeered from Xerox, and then Bill Gates stole that from Steve Jobs. So really, Bill Gates, he was only really ever good at assembly, but I guess that was good enough to get him in the door, and he just kind of fumbled his way around to DOS and Windows. But Bill Gates, since he wasn't really up on the creation of the Windows type platform, he doesn't know the future. He's still stuck, his mind is still in the assembly days, and just he's been overwhelmed since that. I mean, his only real coding, I believe, was back in the assembly days, and he's not really up on where we've come from there. He was just kind of riding the wave. He wasn't creating the wave, he wasn't the wave, he was riding the wave, okay? So what you have to do if you want to go to the future, if you want to start the future, you have to understand the wave. You have to dig deep into the wave and understand how it works. Bill Gates didn't do that. He just wrote it, okay? Now, the next stage of operating systems is database-driven operating systems. Obviously, we have databases, servers, things like that. What a database is it's like this very intricate Excel spreadsheet that basically it's a higher level than a hard drive. A hard drive, all the information is stored in specific parts on the hard drive, okay? And the drive has to know where to go to access that information. And that's how Windows works. Each file is in a specific location, and the operating system remembers where that location is, and it goes to it, okay? It goes directly there. Now, to have a database-driven operating system is going to be a lot more computing power. So it hasn't been, up until now, a good, viable alternative. But as our computing power keeps getting better and better, there's less and less reason not to go to a higher level operating system, like a database-driven operating system. So what the database does is it's a transistory thing that says, oh, you know, it will tell the operating system where to find this thing, okay? So instead of the operating system knowing, okay, this location is here, the database is like, you know what, operating system, you don't really need to know where the file is specifically exactly. You can just come to me, the database, and I'll kind of tell you where stuff is, okay? I'll direct you. So the database is the director, okay? And it's a great user interactive director, okay? So it's another layer, okay? Instead of just hard disk operating system, you have hard disk database operating system. So it's a smoother thing. It's like having shock absorbers on your car. Instead of just your wheels directly attached to the car frame and you feel every jolt, and you know it's inefficient and slow and whatever, it's very harsh. That's what we have right now. It's like if you can't find that particular folder that your file is in, you're kind of screwed. You know, yeah, there's search functions and things like that, but it's very static. It's very, you could have the same name of a file in two different folders and it's considered a different file by the computer just because it's in different locations. The location of the file has right now become, since DOS days, the location of the file has become the #1 identifier of the file. What a database says is it changes that. It says that, you know what? Any aspect of the file can be the identifier. Whatever the person wants, whatever the user wants the file to be identified as, the file will be identified as. If the user wants to look at, you know, who created it as the most important part of the file identification, then so shall it be. If the user wants to look at the date of creation as the most important aspect of the file, then so shall it be. The database gives the user possibilities and options. Instead of having folders where each file is in a folder, the folders could be totally ephemeral, ethereal. The folders is a figment of your imagination. The folder could be solely optical, or it could be solely superficial. The folders could vanish one day and rearrange into another configuration another day, just depending on what you're looking for. If you want things to be rearranged in a certain way, boom, it's rearranged for you. That's what a database can do for you. So consider the operating system to be flexible, to be fluid. That is what a database-driven operating system is. I don't know if anyone else has come up with this idea. I don't really care if they have. This is my understanding of it. Let me know if someone else has. I've also, you know, written it on my naturehackerproducts.com blog, and if you want to discuss it, let's talk in the comments below. So there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Yes, and that is what Trump should do. The media is trying to pigeonhole Trump to buying a high-powered law firm to represent him. Now this is very bad because all of the high-powered law firms are working for the globalists. So obviously what they want is an O.J. Simpson type situation where they get a lawyer to be Trump's lawyer, but that's actually working for the other side. That's actually working for Robert Mueller, taking orders from Robert Mueller. They want Trump's lawyer to be secretly taking orders from Robert Mueller. And they know the only way they can do that is if Trump hires a giant legal team and things can start leaking out just like they're doing from the White House. That is what the media wants. That's what Mueller wants. That's what they all want. Now, you know, instead of building a legal team and a legal strategy to defend against these allegations, we all know that the best defense is an offense, and that is 100% proven in this political climate. The reason why Trump got so far, he destroyed all the competition, is because he was always on offense. He never went back on his heels into defensive mode. He was always attacking and attacking and attacking. And he's doing that right now, doing that quite well with North Korea. I'm the most anti-war person. You will know I would definitely have skipped the draft if I ever was drafted, things like that. I'm definitely anti-war, but Trump was right in 1999. North Korea is a huge issue. It's like if we had let ISIS go for 20 years and festering and gaining strength and gaining money. they would have gotten worse and worse and worse. You know, it's best just to head them off at the pass, just to kind of make them manifest themselves, make their true colors manifest. And that's by putting some pressure on them. So I think Trump is doing a good job with that, making North Korea show their true colors. And, you know, see, you know, it's like playing, you know, it's like in the movie Tombstone, and you're Doc Holliday, and you know, you kind of pressure the guy. You're like, hey, you know, what do you want? What do you want to do here? You know, and the guy's like, I got nothing about you, long girl. I was here for the other guy. He's like, oh yeah, well, you know, it's just me and you right now. And then he goes to draw his weapon to shoot you, and just bam, just nail him. You know, so it's that type of situation going on right now, and that's a cool thought that, you know, Trump uses the terms locked and loaded, because it's quite a metaphor for the Wild West, and this is exactly what this type of confrontation is like right now. So anyway, what Trump needs to do is, with the Mueller investigation, is not create a defense, but create an offense. A reason, a list of reasons, a case for why Trump should fire Mueller. No, it's not a case to defend himself. It's a case of why he should fire Mueller. Bam. Because they moved a grand jury to a place with 95% Democrats. Okay, that is an offense. Bam. Because the judge is connected to Robert Mueller's top attorneys. Bam. Things like this. So there's a good, solid reason. And bam, because of the raid on Paul Manafort was definitely over the top and beyond anything that it should have been. And because of the broadening of the investigation to things outside of the investigation scope. These are all reasons why Mueller should be fired. And so that's what Trump needs to focus on. So anyway, I'm gonna, right now I don't have my internet browser open. I can't see your questions, unfortunately, but if you wait till the video posts, come back and leave a comment. I would be happy to discuss with you. So thanks for watching. I am the Nature Hacker. Let's do work.